Hi, I'm back with Dr. Levy. So tell us a little bit about what you do and where you work.
I'm a cosmetic dermatologist, and I work at the Pro Sports Club. I run the medical spa.
Okay, so is that the same thing as Pro Spa, or is it different?
It's different. I've never heard of Pro Spa.
It's your spa at Pro
just
Sports
the main
Club.
spa. Okay, yes. That's how it's actually said, the spa at Pro Sports Club.
Oh, sorry.
So
it's called Pro Spa. Believe me, I have the logo because you guys both sponsor all of the Malibu doll parties.
Well, the spa at Pro Sports Club is how we like to say it, and I run the medical spa at Pro Sports Club.
So the medical spa consists of like Botox and that sort of stuff?
Injectables, laser treatments, even laser-assisted liposuction, body contouring treatments, VelaShape, anything pertaining to skin and rejuvenation of skin. Very
cool. So what's your education? Where did you go to school?
I went to college here at University of Washington. Go Huskies.
Okay, I'm Oregon State alum.
That's better than being a duck.
Okay.
I accept a beaver over a duck.
Most do.
Right.
I was just cracking myself up.
I went to med school in New York, Albert Einstein College of Medicine. I started out doing general surgery after that at a hospital in Santa Barbara. It's affiliated with USC. Then I went back to New York to finish my residency in dermatology, did a fellowship at Duke in North Carolina, and ended up back here 4 years ago. And
wow, I applied to all of those schools. Just kidding. So what are some of your specialties? Because, I mean, not to make your ego just go straight through the roof, but you are known as Seattle's go-to guy for all of the cosmetology, injectables, those sort of things. So what's some of your specialties that you offer?
I consider the liquid lift a specialty. It's just a strategic combination of injectables, a little Botox, a little filler. Smart lipo is definitely a specialty. Laser-assisted liposuction. We see a lot of people who have little pockets of fat that they can't shake even though they exercise all the time and they eat well. And really sculpting those areas away. Those two things I consider my top two specialties.
Okay, are those things you just, like the smart lipo, is that invasive? Like, is there time you have to take time out of work, or? You
actually don't. And so our general theme in the medical spa at Pro Club, and we see a lot of people who are busy, have jobs, have kids, and just are very type A personalities, don't have time for downtime. And so our general theme is non-invasive rejuvenation. So everything we do, including smart lipo, is what I consider non-invasive or minimally invasive. So smart lipo is minimally invasive, and that means it's done with local anesthetic. People are back working out within a few days to a week. There's no stitching, there's no scarring, and the pain is really minimal. You know, we provide prescriptions for pain control, of course, but they really don't need it for the most part. They're back to doing their daily activities within a day, and they're back to working within a day or two, and it really doesn't interfere with their life, whereas liposuction 5-10 years ago, and still some people do it with general anesthesia and big instruments and don't use lasers. That's a really more aggressive procedure. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of bruising, and it really does interfere. It takes a week or 2 or 3 out of your life.
So there's a really cool new program that you guys are offering that's sort of a collaboration called High Def Sculpting, and it also works with the trainers. Tell us about that program.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of this smart lipo, and the laser is part of the procedure, like I alluded to, which helps the skin smoothen and firm a little bit. But I've been friends and collaborated with some of the personal trainers at the club, and we thought, why don't we collaborate on really toning their muscle in the area that I'm treating after I remove the fat, and that really will give them a high-def result. The laser and everything I do is really not enough to get someone truly ripped. When you talk about, 6-pack or even a 4-pack abs, just taking away a little bit of the fat, it definitely helps and it makes a difference. And for some people, it gets them to that point. But if they do the smart lipo with me and then see a trainer for several weeks or a couple months after, that's when they really get ripped. So that's a
my
new
dream.
I
feel
to get
like
so
ripped.
The best part about the smart lipo is for that sculpting, it's because people, like, the last place they lose weight, like if it's their arms or their abs or whatever, and once they get it done, it's like the first place they lose weight and the last place they gain. And when you always have that same spot when you're looking in the mirror that your eye goes to, and I feel like that's perfect for it, because then you see the trainer, so it's like the first place you lose and sculpt lose weight and sculpt that area. It's so nice for your just peace of mind.
Right.
Love that idea.
And the beauty of it is it doesn't even hurt. I mean, people are in our office saying that, they've had laser hair removal treatments at certain places or other treatments that hurt a lot more than the Smart Lipo. They don't even feel it.
Yeah, I want to talk about the laser hair removal because I really want to do it. But I am mortified about I'm a baby, though. So for us who are kind of just steer away from anything painful, what is the laser hair removal? The medical spa does a little bit something different. It has to do with a vacuum, right?
Right. It's called the Duet. It's a technology made by Luminous. And what happens is if you suction the skin and lift it a little bit with a little pressure, it distracts the nerve endings and you don't feel pain as much. And so
So what does that mean?
Well, it takes it from, laser hair removal on a scale of 1 to 10 used to be an 8 or 9, and now it's really a 3 or 4.
So is it like a rubber band? I've heard that.
Yeah, that's a good description. It's
now it's less than that, or
a gentle
still?
snap, and it's less than that because we ice before and after each pulse, and there are ways to really make it not much. I mean,
so do
it's
people
more
cry?
of just
Has anyone ever cried?
Nobody's cried.
Okay.
There's no one screaming. There's no one crying.
And do you
there's no
provide
yelling.
pain prescriptions for that?
Only in special circumstances.
Okay.
Chanel's
For
a special
for the
circumstance
average
all the time.
person,
Hey.
there's no pain meds needed for laser hair removal, and they do
I
just
have a laser
fine.
hair removal question, though, because Chanel's lucky. She's got this beautiful brown, lovely brunette hair.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Right? I've heard blondes can't. That doesn't really work.
It works
Really?
on blondes if you have dark hair. So it's not about your scalp hair color. It's about the hair color in the area that's being treated. So if you have brown hair,
So go ahead. Does that apply to you?
Where are we going with this?
if you have brown hair,
You
in
call
your,
me special needs. I want to know about your special needs.
brown hair in your underarms, for example, and anywhere where there's some brown to it, it'll work.
I don't know the color of hair under my arms. I've seen it in a decade, so maybe some grow out and check that out. See if I can get laser hair removal.
So for laser hair
Lucky
removal,
husband.
how many sessions do you need with laser hair removal for it to work?
It's usually about 5 to 6. We say there's greater than 90% of the hairs in the treated area are permanently gone after 5 sessions.
Okay.
And that's usually 6 or 8 weeks apart for each session. So I look at it as a 9-month project to get it completely gone. But the thing is, even after your first treatment, some of the hairs don't ever come back, and after each treatment, less and less of them come back. So even if you only do 1 or 2, you'll find that the amount of time it takes to shave the certain area is a lot less, and the hairs are a lot thinner.
Can I have a question here?
Yes.
I was on the plane and I read an article about this, and I'm not sure what techniques they were talking about, but they were saying that laser removals, it's only lasts for 2-3 years, even if it's permanent, and usually it comes back later. Is that true?
With laser hair removal, that's not true. Permanent means permanent. Yeah, there are certain situations where some women who have some hormone imbalances that can stimulate hairs to regrow or can make them resistant to the hair removal treatment. But for someone who doesn't have that kind of underlying issue, it's permanent.
All right, thanks.
So a question that I have, because I was watching Kelly, Live with Kelly this morning, and a lady, actually, it's called bikinirexia. So all these people, we're going to talk about it. I want to get everyone's opinion on it later. But one of the things that these bikinirexic people are doing are putting Botox into their boobs to make them fuller. And when they get a boob job, it helps with the
Lift.
healing process. Have you ever done that?
I've heard of that. I can see how it can help with the healing process a little bit because Botox is just a really powerful muscle relaxer, right? So when you're going under the muscle with a breast augmentation or even above, but usually you go below, the muscle is really tense and it's putting a lot of pressure on the implant. So if you relax it a little bit with some Botox, it can give it room to sort of settle in its new nest, its new space.
Its new nest.
Without any extra contraction and pressure. And if you're someone who's really active and you're using your muscles a lot when you shouldn't be after breast augmentation surgery, then Botox is a way to make sure that even when you're active, your muscle isn't contracting and squishing the implant.
Speaking of active people, Sequoia has a friend that's extremely active and sweats a lot in her armpits and can't control it. I've seen her dancing.
Botox is magic for that.
Okay.
So it does work.
It does work.
Absolutely.
Okay, how much does it take, like, she's never had Botox before. I was trying to explain how many times they prick me in my forehead with Botox and the number of units, and I don't know how does it compare with that, like the amount and the cost and
so similar
the pain.
small needle pricks. It can be a little sensitive in the underarm. We usually ice or put some numbing cream before, and that takes away the edge. It takes 100 units, 50 units on each side. So your typical forehead treatment is 20 to 40 units at most. For this, it's a total.
No emotion there.
Right. For this, it's 50 units per side.
Wow.
But on the face, Botox lasts about 4, maybe 5 months. Under the arms, it lasts closer to 9 or 10 months.
Okay, so it's like once a year treatment if you need it.
Yeah, once a year before summer is actually the best time to do it because that's when you sweat a little more.
Okay, and it totally completely works.
It totally completely works.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So another really cool
Noted.
program that Pro Sports Club offers is My Best 10. And my mom just happens to be one of the spokeswomen for that.
She is, yes.
Love you, Ramona.
Take a look at her in the Alaska Airlines magazine in Malibu Doll. But tell us about the program because it's actually really awesome. And I was so surprised because she's not one of the most, I mean, she never worked out before. I am not motivated to work out, but this program did like miracles. So tell us about what your involvement is with that program.
It's an amazing program. And so this is really inside-outside rejuvenation. As Sophia was talking about before, how you have to balance your inside before your outside, or you really have to have a balance of both on your outside and inside when you're dating. Well, to really be rejuvenated, the same thing is true. You have to be optimized and balanced on the inside and also have the balance and natural rejuvenation on the outside to get what we call 360 degrees of rejuvenation inside out. So that's what the My Best 10 program does. And the concept is 10 weeks, 10 pounds, 10 years. In 10 weeks, we can get 10 pounds off and make you.
And these are
look
legitimate
roughly 10
pounds
years
off
younger.
that like go away. They never came back from my mom. And she didn't stay to the strict program of how it, the boot camp of the 10 weeks. So
Right.
it legitimately works.
Yeah, as long as you keep some of the habits and the principles that they teach you, and that you have a personal trainer 3 times a week, you have a nutritionist, you have a lifestyle coach, you have me, you have an esthetician, a massage therapist. So I lead the 10 years younger part of the program and the rejuvenation part. And so I usually see people when they're a few weeks into the program and then sort of tell them, you're getting optimized, you're getting balanced on the inside. Now it's time to really make everything match on the outside. And we kind of put their final finishing touch, and it really brings everything together. These are people who are working hard, sometimes have kids, really have never taken time in their life to do something for themselves, to really balance everything, to really do all the things they've wanted to do, work out, look their best. Mm-hmm. And so it's a unique program and really a unique place. There's no other place really in the world that I think you can